Hi, folks. This is Mountain Man coming to you from parts unknown. Ha ha. How's everybody doing tonight? Where's everybody? Hi, Georgia. Hi, Kicking Bird. Kicking Bird says, I can tell you right now, there's going to be a run on these banks starting tomorrow. Glad my family, little family, has already made their run months ago. Keep your scratch out of the banks. Well, Kicking Bird, I think that's on a lot of people's minds right now. Hi, Nikki. How are you doing? Hi, Lori. Things are heating up. They've been heating up. I'm going to go over some stuff tonight. I'm not doing a picture show. How you doing, Baba? Mike, how you doing? Everybody's filing in. That's great. Well, I figured I want to start at 8 o'clock, but, they changed the clocks on us. Jump forward, leap forward, or spring forward, whatever. But I tell you what, come fall, you know what they need to do? They need to move the clock, instead of falling back an hour, they need to move the clock back a half an hour, and then leave it the hell alone forever. No more. It's just they can't even leave time alone. They would screw up the wheel if they had a chance. Bureaucrats and control freaks would screw up the wheel. So, kick it back a half an hour come fall, and then everybody leave the damn clocks alone. Put out a public service message every 6 months for people to change their smoke extinguisher or smoke alarm batteries, and quit screwing around with time. Even those things are too damn sensitive. You can't even cook a tray of fish sticks without the neighbor wondering. No, I don't have any of it, but if you do, wondering if your house is burning down, you're setting off a smoke alarm for cooking something stupid that isn't even burning. But anyway, that's what I say. Half an hour and fall, backwards half an hour, leave them alone forever. How many of you all agree with me on that? Give me a thumbs up if you agree with me. Ha ha. Half an hour backwards in the fall, and then just leave the damn time alone. So, Debbie says she agrees. Bubba agrees. Ha ha ha. Engine 10. That's a newbie. How you doing, Engine 10? Hi, Sandy. Hi, Ingrid. Hi, Melinda. Hi. A brighter day. And do we got two Georges? I know we got Georgia Van Houten in. Jamie. Linda Marie. Linda Kirksey. We got two Lindas. Karen. Everybody's coming in. Oh, fake 44. Ha ha ha. Melinda. William, how you doing? Sherry. If I miss anybody, give me brighter day. Anyway, that's good. Everybody's coming in. But let me see who agrees with me. Everybody agrees with me, damn it. Linda agrees with me. Sherry agrees with me. Melinda, 1 minute. Split the differences. They put it forward an hour, put it backward an hour, put it forward an hour, put it backward an hour. Just go to half an hour and stop it. Stop the nonsense. Fancy Oak agrees with me. Yeah, hit the thumbs up. That's what Nikki said. All you got to do is touch it and it changes color. And it helps me in the algorithm. Ha. So I'll put Nikki's thumbs up. She gave me 3. Linda gave me 3. I'll put hers up 2, 3. Bubba gave me 2. 2 thumbs up. Ha. So that's what we're going to do. It's a pat. The amendment is hereby passed. Let me bang my gavel. There. All right. We won't have to worry about it in the fall. A lousy half an hour. Jamie says she likes the time now. Well, a half an hour and we leave it. That makes everybody think something happened important when really all we're doing is just not wasting our time worrying with this crap because they want us to. Another way of controlling you, another way of you getting used to some stupid little notion of theirs. So, anyway, folks, is there going to be a run on the bank? Hi, Joel. Is there going to be a run on the bank? Kicking Bird says, yeah. First thing in the comments is going to be one. So, a second bank went belly up. Belly up. And Janet yelled today, said the government will not bail out these banks. Well, I should have took a screenshot of her statement where they are going to. And I've got the next best thing. What the heck happened to I tell you what, I get knocked off my screen sometimes. I don't want to lose my broadcast. There's second Georgia. Hi, Georgia. How you doing? Good evening to you too. Let's see. Board of Governors, Federal Reserve System. Okay, she says there's not going to be another bailout. What does she mean by that? Nothing special? Is that what she means? Because this is what they're going to do. Shareholders and certain unsecured debt holders will not be protected. Senior management has also been removed. But then it goes on to say, any losses to the deposit insurance fund to support uninsured depositors will be recovered by special assessment on banks as required by law. So it's already in the law that they can cover, not insure, but cover the losses and then put a special assessment on the participating banks that are covered. Okay, does that make sense to you all? You see what I'm talking about? Bureaucratic and political pig Latin. Bailout would be funded with a levy on other banks. You no longer need to be, quote, too big to fail. Now you just need to be, quote, big enough to get headlines. So gear up and take as much risk as you want, no matter the size. So, yeah, they're going to, as my old friend used to call, he used to call them Chinese deals. When you got that kind of double talk and things are kind of a little screwy, he called them a Chinese deal. So they're getting a sideways deal. Hi, Diamond. How you doing? Hi, Em. Hi, Lucy. That's good. I'm just seeing what's going on in the chats. So, yeah, don't worry. These particular banks have been documented to be giving large amounts of money. To who? To the Biden campaign. Who else? To Democratic Party donors. So they're giving a bunch of money. So they'll be taken care of. Don't worry about that. Now, I don't know if the depositors will all be taken care of, but they say that money will be available tomorrow. But the Gateway Pundit says Silicon Valley Bank employees made other made donations to Biden and other Democrats. So if that's not going to make you wonder what's going on. But, I'm not upset. I'm not too scared over it. Hi, Sherry. Because it's not interfering with Biden's vacation plans. Biden takes off to Delaware for another, quote, weekend vacation. Biden has spent 40% of his presidency with no visitor logs. Oh, I believe that's Breitbart. I guess they didn't watch my program where I put on there the Secret Service. So it says we have logs of everybody coming and going every minute, every day and night. So, yeah, we'll be taking a look at that someday. I don't think so, Jamie. I don't think it's that easy. That we won't have to pay our mortgages and car payments. They'll just pass it on to another debt collector. Pamela, yes. Yes, sweetheart. Well, good. You got a detox hot soup. Yes, we will. Just make sure you don't take any advice from somebody that's like some kind of witch doctor or something. I tell you, what they said was what's good for detoxing your body is cruciferous vegetables like broccoli, and to steam them lightly so they're nice and soft. And I like to saute them on low heat in bacon fat, and I like to put Parmesan cheese on my broccoli, along with some parsley flakes and sea salt and pepper and a little bit of garlic. And anyway, that's just the Mountain Man. Follow me for more cooking tips. But that's the way I like my broccoli. Make it really quick in seconds, really. Don't ever throw away your bacon fat. No. You can cook your Brussels sprouts in it. Oh, good. That's good, Pamela. I'm glad. So I guess y'all gonna try that. I tell you, cruciferous vegetables. And let's see if Colleen makes it tonight. I hope she does too. And all our friends we've been pulling for, Pamela, Colleen. We heard a lot of you who were in Nikki's broadcast last night that well, we'll wait and see if we see somebody come in. We'll talk to them. How you doing, Dallas? So anyway, let me see. So if Biden's not worried, everything should be all right. I'll tell you, the other thing came out in the Washington Times. McCarthy vows to slowly roll out, quote, in quotes, January 6 tapes to news outlets after blowback. Okay, so they put the brakes on Tucker with Chuck Schumer coming out there and crying the blues and squealing. And okay, we'll figure out another way to get it. We'll let out different tapes to everybody. I mean, the same tapes, but new ones at the same time to news organizations. We'll see who reports on it. It's a free for all. Y'all do your jobs, and we'll see. We'll be able to get down to who is an operative versus a reporter real quick. So let's see. House Speaker Kevin McCarthy is pledging to release all of the security footage from the U.S. Capitol RIOT after receiving bipartisan pushback. Bipartisan for giving Tucker Carlson exclusive access. Okay, we'll just throw it out there like a bunch of bones to a pack of dogs. Mary Ellen, I'm her kind of cook. Diamond will play the tapes. And we'll give a analysis too, expert analysis. How you doing, B-Dog? Quick game of spot that FED. They're glowies, aren't they? That's what they call them, glowies. So anyway, yeah, I played a video where I had a lot of shots of a lot of people. So we got that percolating. We got everybody, rightfully so, is terrified of this bank situation. And we found out this second bank bit the dust, right? Let me see. What? The name of that is, what's the name of it? Was it Signature Bank? What was the name of the second one? Silicon Bank, and the other one I think was Signature Bank. They announced blew its bowels out. So, yeah, I'm just curious. And I was, as we were discussing last night, for those of you who may not have seen, I was on Nikki's show last night. We discussed a lot of things. Some of it I'll discuss in more detail. And if you all heard that broadcast and have any questions, particularly about the Sinaloa cartel and the connection to that between Manuel Noriega and the Panama arrests by George H.W. Bush, by Ronald Reagan closing the Mexican border after the kidnapping and red rum of a DEA agent, things that nobody's discussed, forgotten in time, but not forgotten in my mind, and not forgotten in a lot of people's minds from back in the day, okay? Anyway, a lot of you may have been watching Nikki's show, and if you didn't, Nikki, can you put a link to your channel so people can go on there, subscribe, and watch last night's broadcast? We covered quite a bit, didn't we? Wouldn't you say? Kind of by my shirt tails there, just going on and talking about stuff. So along with this situation, we've got the situations I just mentioned. Now with this J6 panel, January 6th makes a stunning admission after Tucker Carlson airs surveillance footage of the incident. What was their stunning admission? Their stunning admission was that they claimed they didn't even review the tapes themselves. They're trying to have clean hands. We had a team of employees who kind of went through the video. Quote, I'm not actually aware of any member of the committee who had access. Okay. So who was the one that added all the sounds? Who's the ones that added the screams? Who's the ones that edited the videos? Okay. So nobody knows anything about that. Yeah, Nikki's put her link up so you can watch that show. And I tell you, anybody who is tuning in, they're curious, they haven't been on this walk through history with me and with my friends here in the chats. You're new, and you may dislike Trump. You may think that the Ukraine situation, we should be supporting Ukraine. Don't be afraid to make a comment, a reasonable comment about your opinions, and I'll engage you in the discussion. I really enjoy doing that with people who have different points of view. For whatever thing that you think we may be at odds at, politically, philosophically, or whatever, because that's the best way to exercise our intellect and to look at both sides of the pancake, so to speak. Remember, I said that a long time ago. For a lot of you people who've been with me since the beginning, always look at both sides of the pancake before you eat it. You could get burnt up eggshells, grandma's hair in that pancake. You don't know what, so you better flip it over and take a look at it. So we want to see both sides of the pancake here. That's what we do. Fed issues Sunday night plan to save all depositors. This is Reba of SVB reverting a financial crisis. Yeah, that's after Signature Bank blew out. You know, and I tell you, people are so daggone lazy and unconcerned. They don't realize how close the precipice is. That was what I was going to say. I was going to say I don't expect to run on the banks. You know why? Because money ain't what it used to be. I said they're trying to condition us to think of money as a number on screen on your phone, not cash you got crinkling in your pocket. I used to walk around with a knot. That's what they used to call it, a knot, K-N-O-T. You pull that knot out and you got cash in your hand. And when you think of money that way, you go down to the bank to make sure you get your knot. But if I ever wanted to buy a car Well, one time even a house. Uh, you go to an auction, foreclosure auction, you bring cash. You want to buy a car, you bring cash. Because I tell you, when it gets down to brass tacks, if you're trying to buy something and you're hung up on a couple of $100 or $100 or something like that, and you pull that, you watch anybody's eyeballs when they take a look at cash. They get a little wider. Okay. Now, if I sit there and plunk in my phone a number and show them the number on the screen of my phone, their eyeballs don't change. You pull that knot of cash out, watch the eyeballs widen. Okay. So, but modern society, people, a lot of people who live their lives through ordering things over the phone, sitting at home. They check their balance in the bank on their phone. They order a pizza over the phone. They pay their bills over a phone. And they say, oh, the banks, they don't, it's not like it was in the 1930s when we had a run on the banks. But there are going to be people who are going to be wanting their money. And it's going to be a large enough number of them, even with this statement by the Federal Reserve, that it's going to put a stress on the system. So, and those things typically tend to snowball. They tend to snowball. So we got the run on the banks. We got the JC committee looking like fools. We got Biden going on vacation. Oh, and also the stuff that's being released about Dr. F, okay? Dr. Ouchie. He's on the back burner while this stuff is going on. He feels the dial being turned up on his backside, okay? The heat is being turned up on him. And he's done a little blitz of the TV shows, CNN. Have any of y'all seen that? Or held your nose long enough to watch him on his programs that he's been going on? So lately here, he feigns confusion. Dr. Ouchie responds to Musk's call for prosecution. Now, I put up that tweet from Elon. What? Almost, I guess, 3 weeks ago. My pronouns are prosecute Ouchie, and he's just now getting around to it. But he's acting like he's trying to make Elon Musk look like some kind of bad guy that's coming out of the woodwork and the only one complaining. Well, those of you who have been with me know that Rand Paul put in a formal criminal referral in the Senate last year about Fauci, about what they're calling now GOF. Gain is the first word, of is the second word, and what's the last word? Function, which is pig Latin for saying they're developing a BIO, and the other letter word is weapon, which is criminal. Okay, so no, they changed it. They just changed the terminology, and so he's been going on these different shows. He's all over TV, and he went, Fauci, who feigns confusion as to why there would be an investigation into his conduct while in office, could clear things up really quickly by appearing before Congress. Now, we certainly hope that's he appears before Jim Jordan. He's already been before the Senate. So let him get in front of Jordan's committee, and you're going to talk about fireworks. We'll be seeing the fireworks. So we've got these derailments that are going through the nation's psyche. We've got these balloon flights that are permeating the nation's psyche. We've got all the situations we discussed as far as the banks stuff this morning. We've got Ouchie on the back burner getting the heat turned up on his backside. And Mr. T was putting out truths today, buckets of truths. He's going to be in Iowa, is it, folks? Iowa tomorrow? And what I heard his theme was going to be the education system. Okay. And man, I'm going to tell you what, certain parts of American society tune out when people talk economics. Certain segments tune out when you talk foreign policy. Certain segments tune out for this, that, and this. But when you talk about your kids, you talk about school, you're probably going to get the most attention from the most people, most American citizens. And that's what he's going to be talking about tomorrow. And if he is going to stay on the track, psychological track that he's been on, he's on a train track that's speeding up, and his rhetoric and his truisms are coming out, and they're very barbed, very pointed, and very to the point. And so I think I'm looking for him to be that way tomorrow. And I was talking that last year, I said, Trump said something you don't hear any politician talking about. I surprised the media didn't bash him for saying this. And I haven't heard anybody talk about it, even people in the truther community, even people putting out podcasts, conservative podcasts. I didn't hear one person catch it. And I brought it up. And that was, he said, we're going to have to think about something we've never had to think before. We're going to have to think about mass deportations. He said that last year. He said that half a year ago, and then didn't say anything about it for months. His last speech that he gave, he said he was going to engage the military and every civilian police force at his available to him, any legal method to start getting people out of this country. And he did not pull any punches on that. So now he made mention last year of a clip I played night before last, where he said when he gets back in, he's going to clean out that education system, and teachers that were doing certain things will be automatically escorted from the building. Okay. And he didn't put it that strong for months, but then this time I think he's going to put it a lot stronger, and he's going to use terms that if I use those terms on this platform, I'll get taken down. I can guarantee you that. But he'll use those terms tomorrow. That's my prediction. Maybe he'll come out with velvet gloves on. I don't know, but I kind of doubt it. I think it's time to turn up the heat. He said, Wanda said, the Board of Education is gone. Yes, Wanda. Yes. Yeah. We're going to be electing our principals in our local schools. People got to get involved. They got to roll up their sleeves. So all this stuff going on, it won't be that hard to keep track of because we've already been keeping track of it. It's going to be where our friends and family members who are kind of like, what the heck's going on? We're going to be prepared for them. We're going to be able to rationally explain, sequentially, accurately explain what's happening in our country. And that leads me to this post Peppy Ultra Peppy Lives Matter put out. Okay. And I want to, everybody to listen to it. I kind of preach it, but use a little bit different words, but he's got a good way of putting it. A word to anons. Beware the black pill in disguise. Guard your mind. Put on the spiritual armor of God. Okay? And he goes on to say, unfortunately, I see too much complaining in the guise of red pilling in ANON circles when we live in one of the most incredible moments in history to be alive. Continue to complain, and you will find yourself in a pit of despair on a daily basis. I'll interrupt his comment right there, just to say that's been the theme of what I've been talking about. Don't fall for boogeyman stuff. Don't put yourself in a state of confusion spiritually, okay? I've said that many times, and I'm going to continue to say it. He goes on to say, you're setting yourself up for failure when you don't protect the thoughts being entertained by your mind. You are going to wear yourself down to complete exhaustion, and your consumption resembles the black pills deceptively parading as helpful information. Protect your mind, and when you feel the bitterness setting in, consider that your perception may not be heaven-minded. Heaven-minded. And as I talked on the show last night, I know what Christ warned me about. Okay, I know what the good book has warned me about and instructed me on. And that's what I worry about. And I try to keep my undeserving mind, my humanly frail mind, on what is good and holy as best I can. And I worry about today. And I try to take care of today, as if I do that, tomorrow will take care of itself. There's enough things to worry about for tomorrow. I'm gonna get away from my list of things I'm going down, but I saw on BitChute, Rumble, all these different channels, what's coming out now on some of these, little sideways channels I watch. I respect them, but they put out, Trump had a big idea to take the parks and build cities. He's going to build 15-minute cities. He's part of the NWO. Come on, folks. The man can't even talk about taking land the government has seized from the people that it doesn't need, just for more control and to reduce our access to resources. He's talking about breaking their grip on that land, less than 0.5% of land arbitrarily taken over by the federal government, and having a contest for people to help develop new cities, towns, or whatever. And right away, the first thing that a lot of people's brains go to, he's going to do 15-minute cities. He's part of the New World Order. I can tell you what, please, as that nun I played a long time ago, I played months ago, she was saying, please, beloved, please listen to me, my beloved. I can't talk that way. I'm just repeating her words. I can say, please, friends, my friends, stop thinking that way. Okay? Because you're not only going to drive yourself nuts, you're going to drive everybody else around you nuts. And I can't say it enough. People that are criticizing Trump, or people saying he's not doing things good enough, what are they doing? They're sitting on their rear ends, P&M, pissing and moaning. I'm sorry, I don't like using that language, but that's the fact. And if somebody is in the P&M crowd, you need to stop doing it. And if you're listening to somebody like that, they need to be confronted. What have you done? Did you give up a billionaire's lifestyle? Did you put your entire family in harm's way? Did you work for years on a process, not a plan, a lawful process to expose what's been going on in our government and to uproot it and replace it? What have you been doing for the last 10 years? And I'll tell you, 9 times out of 10, they won't even know who the hell is on their own board of supervisors locally. But they're going to say that Trump isn't doing enough to wipe this evilness and this Marxism and this Satanism off the face of the earth. Give me a damn break. Okay, folks, sorry I jumped off the tracks there, but I get worked up when I hear stuff like that. I really do. And I saw on SGT Report an interview with a guy who wrote a book. He said, it's local politics, folks. If you don't take care of that first, you're doomed. And he's right. And I'm going to get a couple of clips from that, even though I've been preaching the same damn thing. You can find out who's in charge of your life, who's in charge of you and your family by setting the tax rates on the roof that's over your head, the car you go out and drive, all the rules and regulations. Can you imagine when they were going on the Oregon Trail? They had to bring a zoning administrator, a code enforcement officer, animal control. They'd have never made it there. Can you imagine the Wright brothers trying to fly the airplane at Kitty Hawk? Oh, wait a minute there. You didn't get a permit. What are you doing? You know, it's gotten too far, but people are letting it be done to them in their own communities. And people need to stop. Need to stop them. And say enough is enough. Don't worry about if I got a couple of chickens in my backyard. Don't worry about if I couldn't mow my grass this weekend. I'll get it next weekend. Get in my yard with a measuring tape. And who the hell are you? And we don't need your position. Okay, your position is not needed. And we'll save money in our budget and lower our personal taxes to this local junta that is calling itself a county, town, whatever government. You straighten out where you live. Find out who they are. Like I said, I was asking who this person was that is an official that I've never heard of, never voted for, never had a chance to vote for him. But he's going to help make decisions about the property I own. I say, where is he educated at? I want to know if he was from Harvard. I want to know if he's from Columbia University. I want to know if he's a Marxist, in other words. And they tell me, no, we can't tell you. That's confidential. Well, he needs to be fired. Well, if we fire him, we got to give him severance pay of $75,000. When did they institute that? I guarantee you that's been instituted in your local government. And who in the world, anywhere, does a bad job and they say, look, you're fired, give me $75,000. Who's got that kind of security? The bureaucrats do. And you know what? They didn't do it by themselves. That kind of programs, those kind of tactics were originated by the families we've already talked about, by the WEF and the other parts and non-government organizations that are trying to put us in a position of control, to get their flunkies in where we can't afford to fire them. So they sit there and their job is to continue to make your life burdensome. So you will say to yourself, you throw your hands up in the air, say, forget it. Put me in an apartment building. I can't handle these house payments. I can't handle these taxes. I can't handle the getting a fine because I didn't get my grass mowed in time. Just put me in an apartment and I'll own nothing and be happy. That's their goal. And they're doing it right down to the local level. You think I'm crazy? How many people think I'm crazy? How many people think I'm right? Give me a thumbs up if you think I'm right. If I'm crazy, put a mad face. Ha ha. Do I think it's possible the banks go down on the Ides of March? Well, Doc, anything's possible. Anything's possible, but I do not hold to certain dates. I don't plan around certain dates. I plan around events and actual what is happening. It could happen. That's right, Pamela. It is hard. What we're dealing with is horrible, and that's why we're confronting it. But the banks might not go down. This could be a warning shot. I'm going to do one question at a time. And it could It could happen in the Ides of March, but I wouldn't say that that was preordained or planned by some super mind or some demonic mind, is what I'm saying. Try not to think that way. They may not go down at all. Certain banks may. It might be like the Bernie Madoff thing, where a certain group of thousands of people lost their money and can never retrieve it. That might happen with some of these banks. But as far as a nationwide eruption right now, I don't look for it. And Pamela, it is horrible, and that's why we have to confront it. And like I say, they built their castle. The foundations are in our counties and towns. It builds right up to the state house. If the state house doesn't have flunkies doing what they want at the county level, they can't function. They can't function with what we've found out has been happening in voter registrar offices. Who's your voter registrar? Who's the one in charge of registration of voters? Where are they from? Where'd they go to school? What's their history? That's the kind of things you got to find out. We already know we got to be eyeing up the school boards. We already know. But it goes beyond that. There are people that have control of our lives right down the street in local government offices. That's right, Melvita. What, don't even know what a carbon footprint is. There's no such damn thing as a carbon footprint. That's scientific Pig Latin. I've gone over political Pig Latin, bureaucratic Pig Latin, doctor Pig Latin, lawyer Pig Latin, and this is science Pig Latin. There's no carbon footprint. Go to a volcano. Go to Yellowstone National Park. Just to one of the little bloop blop bloop puddles out there that are constantly belching out stuff. Go right up to a volcano. That one eruption puts out enough emissions, much more harmful than a vehicle ever could, more than we can do in 250 years. Okay, one volcano. And what do they say? About 10 of them go off a year around the world. Some of them underwater, but it still gets out, so it gets in the atmosphere. So it's all garbage. Mount St. Helens blew up, and 2 weeks later they had ferns popping up out of the ground. It was covered with ash, 3, 4, 5 feet of ash, and started having ferns growing out of the ground because carbon is a nutrient. Trees breathe it, and they exhale oxygen. We breathe oxygen. We exhale carbon dioxide. Isn't that something? Don't they want the trees to be able to breathe? So it's a hoax. It's a cult. And so many people, I could tell a story, but I won't right now. I got to think about it. If I could tell it in a way where if a certain person doesn't listen to my broadcast, they won't know I'm talking about them, because I do. They're my friends. I'll go ahead and tell. You get a cup from a fast food place, a restaurant, or wherever. It's a paper cup, right? And it's got wax on it, right? And okay, you got a paper cup with wax on it. So somebody came by and they had a couple of cups here, and they said, "Oh, we'll take these cups out to the car so you won't get stuck with our trash." I said, "That's okay. I'll put a bunch of twigs in the cups, dry twigs, and it'll hold them all together. I'll stick it under a log and start my fire in my wood stove." "Oh, you can't do, oh my gosh, you can't burn this cup." I'm like, what? It's plastic. No, it's not plastic. It's paper with wax. And this person, a good friend of mine, okay, Number one, we are at that point in time at odds with each other. Subconsciously, she thinks I'm in the habit of destroying the earth, okay? Which is wrong. I'm in the habit of keeping sticks together in a container, okay, which is made from wood, paper, okay? And I said, she's holding it up, looking at it in the light, looking at this lousy paper cup. And I said, it's wax over paper. I said, do you know what they've done for 1,000 years or more? They made candles out of wax, and that's how people. Abe Lincoln learned how to be a lawyer, reading under a candle. I mean, was he destroying the earth, burning wax on the end of a piece of cotton? And so they put the cup down. Did they say, "Gee, you're right, I feel better"? No. They put the cup down and said, "Whatever." Didn't learn a damn thing, but it just goes to show you, if you allow this system and this narrative to get your mind in such distress, because if they didn't leave it here and I didn't use it to start my fire, what would happen to it? They'd put it in a trash pail somewhere and it would go to a landfill and be buried under a bunch of plastic or whatever and sit there for 1,000 years instead of going to the atmosphere as something the trees can breathe. And the ash is something the plants can get nutrients out of. Okay? Minerals. And as we all know, through the process of photosynthesis, we end up with trees and fruit and corn and stuff like that. But anyway, I didn't mean to take up, what did I take up? 5 minutes talking about a cup? Let me see what's going on. Hi, Roy. How you doing? Hi, John. Wolfpack. Holy cow, I just got a notification. Let me see. Oh, somebody bought me 5 coffees. I can't go out of my broadcast to see who it was, but I thank you so much. And that reminds me, this is a viewer-supported and creator-supported channel only. I don't get anything from anybody, and everybody that's part of the coffee crowd, I do appreciate. And if you want to help support the channel, I've got a link in the description. There you go. Channel support link in the description. Thank you. And then a boom mark. And I don't have any special effects to put on this particular stream site, or I'd have a grenade go off and some hearts and some fireworks. But here's all the folks in the coffee crowd. I've got to add a couple. I know Wolfpack's got to get added in there. And is Mary in there? I got to put Mary in there too. But all the people that's part of the coffee club, I'll redo my banner and think of some nice little thing to post when I do picture shows. I will post my coffee crowd. So thank you. Thank you for helping me out with the Buy Me Coffee. I got one person to help tonight. Thank you, Nikki, for posting the link. And George is, oh, honey, thank you. Can I put that on the screen, Georgia? I'm going to put it on the screen. You know why? Because I'm vain. All I think about is myself, don't you know? Georgia said I'm smart. And Georgia's smart. She knows what she's talking about. So if she said I'm smart, I got to be smart, right? Anyway, so we got that creepy little ouchie, getting the heat turned up on me. You can tell he's bothering him. You can see it in his face. As I said about Matt Taibbi, he looked so much more at peace with himself when he knew he had the truth on his side. They called him a radical, I think they called him a radical Republican. And Matt Taibbi has been a Trump-hating lefty. And some of the things he published was really unbecoming in the past. And I said you could see it in his face in the past. But when I saw him in front of the congressional hearings, he looked at peace. I mean, he had the truth on his side, and he was laughing in the faces of these people that were attacking him with falsehoods. And you have a look of comfort on your face. So with Fauci, you see the opposite. He is starting to deteriorate, as far as I'm concerned, with his physical appearance, and it's going to get worse. And I enjoy watching it myself. But just remember what Ultra Preppy Lives Matter said. Protect your mind when you feel the bitterness setting in. Consider that your perception may not be heaven-minded. Beware sorcery. Beware of that. All right, it's Pamela. Thank you, Pamela. I appreciate it so much. Beware of people who are trying to introduce sorcery or introduce things that are going to distract your mind from the ability to come up when a normie says, "What's going on with Dr. Ouchie?" You say, "Oh, well, gee, they caught him giving millions of dollars to the Woo, and the other part is Han Lab." He did what? Yeah, he did it on his own. He gave millions over there. Next thing you know, they tried to blame it on a bat, but it's coming out now that it was from the LAB that he gave the money to. Let their brains start turning. Thank you, Pamela. I appreciate it. And Georgia said, "Don't let your mind get infected with worldly news." That's right. Because they get paid very well. They're very well practiced in psychological operations. And hey, that's hard to overcome for the average person. But the truth will overcome it, and calmness, rationality. Be like Matt Taibbi. We had a little smile on his face when they were saying, "Oh, you're doing that. You're supporting white supremacist views. You're looking at talking points from the right." And he had that little smile on his face, and he just said, "No, what I'm showing you is reality. Is what I put up. I'm not taking any sides." And you do the same thing, and you'll feel you put yourself at peace in your mind. Okay. And know that God, yes, God's in control. And there's nothing new under the sun. Okay? People that come up with all these things that I won't get into, and all these messages from others that don't know what they're looking for clicks, they're looking for what to go on the road and do a show and meet us and sell tickets at this show, and we'll astound you with our inside knowledge and our what do they call it? Numerology, any of that kind of stuff. Stay away from it. You've got your strength in the word, and you've got a good mind, and you can see the news. You can see how we're tearing down the wall of deceit. It's getting torn down every day, brick by brick by brick, farther and farther. Tomorrow's going to be big. It'll sound to you and me, everybody, that Trump, he's going through his same old stump speech. He might even tell the snake story again. Don't get wore out by that. Realize this man, he does not want to do this. He's doing it for us. He's trying to entertain. He's trying to get people to focus and listen to him. Every now and then he'll throw a stink bomb right in their laps while he's doing the same talk he's been doing, the same rallies he's been doing. All of a sudden he'll have a stink bomb in there and throw it right in their lap. Okay, just like he said with mass deportations, bang, stink bomb. Just like he said about, well, you wouldn't let these people watch your kids for 10 minutes. Boom, that's a stink bomb. Okay, he'll keep doing it. And I keep my eye open for the stink bombs. And it doesn't stink to me, but it stinks to them. So I made this banner up about one of his last speeches. Remedy. I talked about how we're going to do things legally. Remedy equals retribution. Retribution equals justice. Okay? And some people say justice delayed is justice denied. Well, if we get ourselves in a situation where a lot of people get hurt, we're not being just. We've got to have the patience of a soldier, a patience Well, when you're on a long march, and when you get into a situation or a battle where you have to retreat, where you have to evacuate, where you have to uh, get your fallen comrade, and you did not win the day, you have to be strong enough to get up and go on that march again tomorrow. Okay, and um, Dan Scavino put out a meme I'll put up next time I do a picture show. I am your voice. That was what Mr. T said in his first speech that he did when he announced, when he said we were our movement is an existential threat. He said, I am your voice. Now he has added to that, I am your warrior. I am your justice. I am your retribution. Okay, folks? And we don't want vengeance. Vengeance is for the petty. Vengeance is for a sinister mind. We want retribution. We want a remedy to what's been done to us. And we want to exact lawful punishment to make sure that this stuff never happens again. And that's what we're doing. And we're going to expose as many people as we can. Let me see what's going on in the chats. Anybody got any questions? I didn't even get into the Sinaloa cartel. Hey, tomorrow's another day. If I might go live tomorrow. So if you're not subscribed, please subscribe. Well, hit the notification and you'll know you get a boop. That man's going live, and you can keep an eye on chats. Hi, Robin. How you doing? Cheshire's Insight. How you? Cheddar Pepper Prepper. How you doing? Vicky. Oh, we got more people in while I've been preaching. I've been sticking my finger up in the air and talking loud. I got the cat looking at me like I lost my mind. She's getting her stitches out Wednesday evening, folks. And she'll get that cone off her head. Isn't that great? She's knocked it off her head a couple of times right in front of my eyes. And I was able to put it back on. And so she lets me do that. So she knows I think she knows what it's for, to keep her from picking at that mess back there on her hip. Yeah, Cheshire's, and when they interviewed the little rodent, his pulse quickened. You could actually see his thigh moving, his heart started beating. Yeah, he had a vein in his forehead there. Pump, 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 pump. Ha ha, ouchie. Oh, ouchie fungus. John, you got to put a 4 for A when you spell that man's name. Yeah, I see Nikki said, please don't use keywords. If you do, just put a letter for a vowel, like a 4 for an A. A 4 looks like an A if you think about it. A 3 looks like an E. Love you too, Pamela. Let me see. I'm way behind on the chats. So let me see. Oakman. I haven't heard from him. I got to check on him. That's right, Cheryl. 64,000 arrested in El Salvador. That's a little, look on a map how little El Salvador is. And they have had zero red rums in El Salvador this year. Compared to, by about this time last year, they had over 300. And the people are happy, the people are safe, and they got 64,000 of them sitting in the joint. And if that little country can do it, this big country can do it. Mike Mazza, let me see. What you had a question. Let me check it out. Vengeance is God, Mike said. Let me see. Where is it? The cameraman, how else did they get the great picture coming off the lander? Oh, talking about the moon landing? Is that the one you're talking about that Mike had, Nikki? I don't know. It was all a HOAX, right? Thank you, Awaken Trillium. Listen, folks, I've come up on my hour, so I appreciate y'all spending your precious time with me. And I'll probably go live tonight, so please like, share, subscribe. Thank you to the Coffee Crowd for helping me. I've got a link in the description if you want to help the channel out. You all have a great night. This is Mountain Man, over and out.